Did you know, statistically and factually speaking, in this country, the United States of America, you will never be rich or wealthy by working a job? Welcome into the channel, guys. It is Sunday again, November 10th, 2024. And that's right. This video is going to be a motivational Monday video on a Sunday. I was going to share it with you guys tomorrow, but tomorrow is a holiday, a federal holiday here in the United States. It is Veterans Day. Remember, we don't have any banking. Your deposits might not hit, and you don't have to ship on the USPS. I know some of you like to do it anyways with the kiosk and the drop-offs. That's fine if you do, but you don't have to. Also, before we jump into this video and we talk about getting rich in the United States and the mindset and the story I have to tell you guys, which is an amazing story along with some statistics that are going to blow your mind, I want to quickly say thank you to all of the veterans that have served, are currently serving active duty, and may serve in the future. It is Veterans Day here in the United States tomorrow, and we do honor all of our veterans. It's different from Memorial Day. Memorial Day is exactly that. We memorialize those that gave the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty for the military in this country. But Veterans Day is for everyone that served. I have a ton of followers and watchers. I know you guys and girls that did serve. I recognize a ton of you from the chats and different Facebook groups and your friends and family and sons and daughters, moms and dads. I have quite a few friends. We, in fact, had a neighbor who just shipped out last year to Japan, Kurt Geiger. So shout out to Kurt. If you're listening, Kurt, he's over there. I got to go visit him in Japan, in Tokyo and Okinawa, because it's super cool. One of our neighbors went over and visited him. Anyhow, of course, mostly my dad, who served 24 years in the Marine Corps and then in the Army before he retired, and my brother, 22 years in the Air Force. And a lot of my family, a huge amount of my family did serve. I'm probably the only one that didn't. I didn't go that route. I went the business route. But thank you to all of them who did go that route, and all of you who did as well. So that's tomorrow's holiday. And remember that shipping. Don't get up and be scared that you forgot to ship packages. Now let's jump into today's video, which again, I told you was going to be a Monday motivation, but I'm going to give it to you today because tomorrow's a holiday. And a lot of you don't watch my videos for 12 hours anyways, because you don't have those little notification bells turned on. So you probably won't see this till Monday anyhow. So in this country, in the United States of America, factually and statistically, and I'll give you the statistic after I tell you this little backstory, the majority of U.S. Americans will never be millionaires. And those that are millionaires factually get there not working a job. We'll talk about that in a second. Stay with me here, right? So this came around my mind because I was in a Facebook group, and this Facebook group, or it's like a Facebook page rather, that people follow. It's about people that have very unique rooms in their houses. Like this guy built a speakeasy in his basement. He lives up north somewhere. They have big basements. It's like a full, I don't want to call it a club, but like a lounge in his basement. I'm talking like a full bar with like 8 bar stools, a little gaming area with like some arcade games and a pool table and a poker table, all separated, like 6 TVs, huge room, surround sound, lighting, a bar with probably 500 bottles of wine and liquor, high-end stuff too, right? Not even counting the booze that he had. I bet this room is something in the neighborhood of $1 million plus, easily, right? Now, why am I telling you this? Well, I always see comments where people are like, wow, that's amazing. I hope I win the lottery one day so I can get there. And there's all these comments, and there's other people who have money that do the same sort of thing. And yesterday, late last night, I was reading through these comments on this one particular one of this guy that I really look up to. He's super cool. He's a business owner. And he posted an update to a room that he's been building for a long time, and he finally finished it, and it was over $1 million, secret speakeasy type room. And a young lady in her 30s, young 30s, like 31, she posted a comment on post of his finished product where she goes, "It's amazing. I'm super happy for you. I never talk, I never comment, but I have to ask, how do people get this kind of money to just spend on a spare room in their house? It's insane." And she went on to explain that she's a single mother. The father of her child, who's like 4 or 5 years old, disappeared. They can't track him down. They can't get child support. And she has a college degree, a bachelor's. She's working on a master's, and she works early education, child psychology. She works at a high school as a guidance counselor and a social worker inside of a high school. She lives up north. I think it was Minnesota maybe, or Wisconsin, somewhere up there. And she makes $40,000 a year, even with her college degrees. And she has a little bit of student loan debt, obviously. She lives in a manufactured home, very cheap. We call them manufactured here. They're not mobile homes, but they're kind of mobile homes. They're somewhere in the middle. Anyhow, all of her bills combined, like her house is reasonable. It's like $700 or $800 for the payment she has on it, plus internet and water and electric and cable. Anyhow, the house is like $1,200 to carry all the bills. She has no car payment, a pretty old car, like 20-year-old car. She maintains it, keeps it up, gets herself to work, pays a little bit for childcare for her kid. They have health insurance, car insurance, her cell phone, all this other stuff. Basically, her bills are about $2,200 to $2,400. Well, remember, guys, she makes 40 grand. So that's like $3,500 a month. And after taxes, she brings home like $3,000, and she's spending with fuel and gas and groceries and everything else, $2,400. No real money left over. And she keeps that money for emergencies, her car maintenance, tires. Things go wrong with a 20-year-old car a lot, I'm sure. And, her childcare, babysitting, whatever it is that she needs. She's single. And that's her life. And she was just like, for me to have $400 left over every month, and she's living very frugally. You're living off $2,500 even as a single mom and a child. That's pretty cheap. I don't know that you can live any cheaper than $2,500 a month. You wouldn't be able to. She wouldn't do it here in Florida where I live. Not in my city. Maybe in the Tampa ghetto, possibly. And I say ghetto in the nicest way. I'm just saying like the bad part of town. I don't even know if it could be done there. Some crappy areas, crappy apartments here are like $1,500. It's terrible. But it didn't used to be that way here, but it is now. So anyhow, she's living very frugally. And she had a fair question. And of course, she got hundreds and hundreds of comments. This thing had like 1,000 comments in 24 hours. There were people trolling her, telling her, hopefully your uncle dies and he's got money, or you win the lottery, or slip and fall at McDonald's and get $1 million. There was all kinds of silly answers, but there were some very good answers where, some people said, unfortunately, you got a degree in a industry that doesn't pay very well. And they're not wrong. Teachers are loftily underpaid. The majority of teachers, even college professors, don't make that much money. Just teaching is something you do for the love of it. And some people aren't worried about being wealthy or rich. And I get that. I'm not talking to you guys. If that's not your goal, fine. But this young lady wants to do better for her child. I believe it was a little girl, and herself. And just, she's not saying, oh, I want to be able to afford $1 million basement, but I want to do better than this manufactured home in the middle of nowhere, driving to work, picking up my kid, going home, and having no money. And I get it. Trust me, I've been there a long time ago. It's been a while. And a couple of people chimed in and said, look, if you actually want the secret to making money in this country, and you want to be more successful than you are, you have to start a business. You have to work for yourself. And they're right. They're bone bare, dry, correct. And so that brings me full circle to the statistic that I wanted to tell all of you guys that I looked up after I read this story and after I decided to make this video. Did you guys know of all millionaires in this country, in the United States at least, all millionaires who reported $1 million income on their tax returns, or have $1 million net worth, or $1 million in the bank, liquid or more, or assets or stocks, all the millionaires combined, 20% of them are retired. And of that 20%, 15% were business owners, entrepreneurs, 1099s, or invested on their own. They did not work for somebody. They did not receive W-2s. Of the remaining, 2/3, 66.6%, were entrepreneurs, self-employed, work for themselves, own a business, or invested on their own. 15% of all retired millionaires were business owners. And 66% of all active millionaires, actively still working, are entrepreneurs, business owners. That's 81.66%. And I would imagine out of the rest of them, there are some engineers, doctors, lawyers. They work for a firm. They make, $50,000 a month. They make hundreds of thousands a year. Nurses, there's some nurses that could probably pull it off. What are they called when they put you to sleep? Anesthesiologists. I have one in my neighborhood that makes sick money, like $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year, and his wife's a nurse. Together, they make like $500,000. I'm sure they're worth $1 million. They own like 3 houses. There are other ways to do it. There are jobs and W-2 jobs that will do it, but I would bet it's closer to 85%. 85% of millionaires in this country do not have a job or never had a job. Maybe they had a job when they were younger, right? But more recently than not, they didn't have a job. So statistically speaking and factually, you will not get rich if you have a job. 85% of the time you won't. The other 15%, I would bet at least 10% of that 15 are the crazy jobs that we all know about make big money. Lawyers, doctors, nurses, anesthesiologists, financial advisors that get bonuses, big time engineers, blueprints, stuff like that. Outside of that, which only leaves a few percentages left, you're not going to do well. You're not going to be wealthy, and you're going to struggle paycheck to paycheck or barely making it, depending on your lifestyle, working a job. That's just the way it is. And so they were correct to tell her that she needs to start a business. And in 2024, 2025, it's easier than ever. We all have a smartphone, this thing right here in our pockets. We all have access to very affordable equipment, microphones, phones that you can just do, clip-on mics. You can start a YouTube channel. You can start a podcast. You can start a TikTok affiliate channel, TikTok shop. You can start Instagram. You can start selling on eBay or Amazon or Etsy or Poshmark or wherever you feel like selling. FBA, Shopify, import your own products. You could start a ton of other businesses. You could start a house cleaning business where you get to make a couple $100 a house. You get yourself 10 houses a week. You make a couple $1,000 a week, and you build it up to where you hire some employees, and now you're cleaning dozens of houses. You could do it with a lawn company. I know a guy that owns a lawn company that makes $1 million a year, and he's got 5 employees. He keeps $500,000, and those 5 employees make $100,000 a year. They're their own managers. He keeps $500,000. Pays his taxes, pays him $100,000, and he keeps $400,000 a year to himself. Probably lives off $150 and puts the other $200 and change away, and he'll be a millionaire in a couple years. No doubt about it. You could start a construction company where you don't even do the work. You subcontract everything, and you pad it a couple $1,000 a job. You're doing a couple jobs a week. All of a sudden, you're making $300,000-$400,000 a year. There are many, many ways to start a business that don't require you to work for someone else. If you guys remember that show, The Wonder Years, was it Winnie is her name? Kevin and Winnie. Winnie, the actress, Danica McKellar, actually was really good at math, and she did tutoring and coaching. She created a course that she sold online to teach people how to do math. And she created books, and she made millions of dollars, way more off of this stuff than she ever did as a child actor, right? She made good money as a child actor. Of course she did. And she still acts to this day in like Hallmark movies and all that. I'm sure she makes bank, but she made millions of dollars. She was never like an A-lister after her child acting. She was always like a B-lister. She's great. I love Danica. I think she's awesome. But, she made millions off of just tutoring and coaching. You know, I'm not sure this young lady could tutor and coach because she learned child psychology and early education, but I'm just saying as an example, somebody figuring out how to make money doing their own business. There's tons. What do you know how to do? Do you know how to stitch? Do you know how to sew? Do you know how to do paint? Can you teach people something? Take a skill, take what you love, take what you're good at, and start turning it into money. People will always pay for knowledge. They'll pay for education. They'll pay for experience. They'll pay to learn how to do things that they don't know how to do that you do. They'll pay to watch that. They'll not pay to watch it, but Google will pay them to watch it, which in turn gets you paid from YouTube. There's a million ways to make this work. Even people that are like firefighters, police officers, paramedics, they don't make a lot of money. It's a job they love. But if you're going to do something that you love, shouldn't you be paid reasonably for it? Shouldn't you be paid what you deserve to be paid for it? I don't know what they make here. I got a Tampa PD officer, lives 2 doors down from me. I believe he told me Tampa PD starts at like 50, 60 grand a year starts. Now, some of them make more than that. Hillsborough County sheriffs, actually, Hillsborough County is where Tampa is. There's a Hillsborough County sheriff that watches my videos pretty regularly. I don't believe that she's a sheriff anymore. She might be. I don't think she is. But anyhow, she could probably comment in the comment section how much Hillsborough County starts at. I want to say it was between 60 and 70 is what they start at. Great money. It's a good paycheck, right? For a young person, 20s, 30, but it's not going to, get you rich, not going to make you a millionaire. You got to do something out on your own. And I believe that's what she's working on currently, actually, outside of the sheriff's office, doing something on her own to make more money. And I think she did love what she did as a sheriff's officer. I believe she did. And I do still see her on social media quite often, but she's moved on to bigger and better things. And I think that's what everybody's going to have to do. And so that's the story. That's this young lady's advice that she was given. And, the one thing I did see is, how is she going to go to work, take care of a child, and start a business? And so that's the part that everybody doesn't want to hear the answer to. And the answer is you got to suck it up. You're going to have to kill yourself at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night when the child goes to bed to build whatever this business is. Now, you got to know this is going to suck for a couple of years, but at some point, I'm going to build this up to the level of my income to where I will be able to quit that job. And now I will be able to work that time on my business and not have to kill myself at night. That's just part of the business. That's part of life and entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, that's this country. Trickle down economics, gotta love it. And that's a video for another time, talking about time management and other things. I just wanted to give you guys that story because I thought it was interesting. I thought it was great for Motivation Monday, and I thought that her answers and her questioning a wealthy person in this page, in this group, was fair, because a lot of people don't talk about it, but she didn't care what he does for a living. She didn't care about his personal financials, all that. She just said, what do I have to do better for myself? And she may not want Lamborghinis and mansions. She may just want to do better for her child, have a better life, a better house, and less stress. And that's fine. She may be using that $1 million basement as hyperbole, as a metaphor to, I just want more. I want to do more. I want to do better. And that was great of her to reach out and ask. Now, full disclosure, the gentleman's house that she commented on, he runs a business that installs custom audio, video, visual, surround sound, audio out to pools, through houses, in nightclubs. So he does a ton of stuff. He makes massive amount of money. His company does multi-millions of dollars a year, 5-10 million a year in revenues. And he keeps like $1 million or $2 million a year for himself, pays his taxes, of course, but he has crews of people, employees and subcontractors that go out and wire all these places up for sound and audio and visual. And they hang TVs and they hang speakers and ceilings and, outside in your pool area and hide all the wires and light it up. And so they do a really good job. It's for high-end clients, basically. And he makes really good money doing what he does. And obviously he has $1 million basement inside of a multi-million dollar house. So start your own business and you too can have a speakeasy downstairs. That's the lesson for today. I appreciate everybody watching. As always, I appreciate you enjoying the videos. I can't wait to read your comments on this. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans. No shipping. Don't forget about that. And thank you to everyone that served. Thank you to everyone that is serving right now, all of your friends and family and anybody that's here. And thank you to anyone who decides to serve in the future, because I didn't go that route, but I'm appreciative of all of you and my family who did. For all of us to live where we live and to have the freedom to be able to start a business, to have $1 million speakeasy in our basement. Thank you everyone so much for that. I appreciate it. Like the video, turn on your notifications and subscribe to the channel. Come back, watch future videos. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.